Alright, my friends. This is Timothy, cooking in my PJs. I'm a retired U.S. Naval Master at Arms and then a lieutenant from the Sea Cadet Corps, retired. But you know what I did mostly in the Navy before I became a Master at Arms? I was a cook. I was a cook for almost 13 years. And I still love cooking. You can see that I got these veggies right here that are chopped up already. That's my mayonnaise. That's my carrots, celery, and onion. Alright? And I put, including the leaves of the celery. I use the leaves too. Alright? I got half beef, half lamb, and I got some Opus German style hard sausages, okay? So you're like, it's a lot of ingredients. You're probably wondering, what the heck are you making? I'm making hunter's stew. Now you can use various meats in hunter's stew. Not every hunter's stew is the same. You know, imagine a hunter out in the wilderness and you're out there hunting and whatever you catch that day. Catch some venison, you have your cow that you already have butchered and the meat drying up. You're going to take some of that beef, and then you're going to take that venison meat, you're going to mix it together. You might have some homemade sausages drying out in that cellar back in the old days. And you're going to cut those sausages up, and you're going to put them all together, and you're going to make your hunter's stew. And of course you're going to have your vegetables. Also behind me I have the gold potatoes. Alright. I think I angled the camera enough so you can see kind of like the stove a little bit. I'm going to make these meats the same, so I'm just going to push them together right now. So I'm going to go in one stew. Alright. I like a little spice, so I do put a little cayenne. I like a little cayenne. I put that on a lot of my things. I like a little spice on things. I always put a lot of dried turmeric. But back in the old days, they just had whatever spices they had in the cellar. Of course, you had the salt. You might have had some types of pepper. Maybe had some fresh herbs. I always put some dried thyme on it. You notice this, every time I do my meats, I always mix the seasonings in together. That's my secret. Of course, the garlic salt. I just got them what I grabbed. Like, oh, I don't want to open that all the way. I just got them what I grabbed. Yeah, that's going to be plenty. I'm going to work that in. Black pepper, I don't have any more in the grinder. I'd rather have the grinder, but that's fine. Cumin. I love cumin in everything. I know it's usually just from Mexican dishes, they say, but I put it in all my stews and soups. I don't know, I just love the taste of cumin. And then I got some dried parsley. I could have got some fresh parsley. That would have been better, but we're on a budget right now, and we're gonna be cutting things down probably because things are gonna go up with Trump's tariffs. And I got some rosemary here too. Put a little bit of that on this one. I'm gonna, you know, with Trump's tariffs, if he enacts all that, everything's gonna go up. guess I'll tell like a little story as I'm mixing my meat together. Trump's tariffs. Huh. You know, Trump reminds me of like some of the power-hungry people I ran into in the Navy. Like one day I think I was a second-class cook. No, third class. I was third-class cook. I was on the Richmond K. Turner CG-20. We were getting ready to go out to sea. I had the overnight duty that night. I didn't want to have that duty. Wanted to be home with my wife. My wife was pregnant with my son Timmy, who was actually born 3 days after we left, sadly. And you know, I wanted to be home. I wanted to watch the birth of my son. I was hoping he was going to be born beforehand. So, you know, I had my sleeves rolled up. I was looking in the kitchen. We had long sleeve shirts on, of course, with a ship with our dungarees. I'm working on the pier. I had 2 trash bags, one over each. Boom. I wouldn't be able to do that today. And this power-hungry chief, probably just promoted to chief, goes, well, if you effing roll down your effing sleeves. I'm like, huh? I'm like, maybe after I drop these trash bags there, well, no, you do it now. I didn't do it, you know. And then he was like threatening to write me up. It wasn't even on my command. These power-hungry people. So, no, that fell. I'm not gonna use it. So he followed me back to my ship, complaining to the officer of the day, the officer of the deck that was on duty on the ship, and he just looks at him and goes, "What command are you on?" He said, "This is one of the hardest working people we have on this ship. His wife's almost due. Why don't you just leave my petty officers alone?" Power hungry. Then again, on the USS Bellewood, this Master Chief did not like me because I had more medals than him. I was a combat veteran, and I had more medals than him. 18 rows of ribbons, not all of them medals. I think I have 12 medals, but 18 rows, you know, so 18. So I think that's, and then the rows are 3, 6, 9, 12. So 6 rows, yeah. And it was like, he only had like 3 rows, and he wanted me to take my medals off because he was power hungry. That's what Trump reminds me of. There's power hungry people. Yet people fall in line with him. They fall in line like sheep. Like sheep. I don't get it. Okay, let's go. I am going to put this mixed meat in here. Otherwise it's going to be easier for me to pour it into the stew pan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stew the meat and the vegetables together in this one. I'm going to put it like on a medium heat. I'm going to put a little oil in here first. I'm going to do a camera cut now. Yes, my balance is bad. Alright. I'm going to go old school on this. I don't think you can see me too much. got my meat. Flipping it in here. And the Mary pasta I'm going to cook at the same time. Hey! I'm on my walker. You don't want this too high. This is a stone pot. I love this stone pot. I make a lot of soups in it. Here's my whole Mary pasta. Look at that. Woo! Now I'm just going to cook this down to the vegetables are translucent. Alright, you can see the vegetables cooking. I'm sitting here. You probably can't see me too much because I got the camera angled down into the pot. You've seen me cut potatoes in half before. I'm going to cut potatoes in half and put them into one of the bowls. So I got to rinse off the bowl. Those are cooking down really nice, aren't they, guys? Yeah. This is going to be a healthy stew. 3 meats, sausage at the end. Sausage goes in last, of course. That's also my base. That also gives you the flavor of the base. I'm rinsing off the cutting board. You don't want to cross-contaminate. You know, you don't want to cut like the vegetables and the meat. You know, that's why I rinsed it off each time after I cut something. I'll just throw this in the sink. The last worst power-hungry chief I had was at Great Lakes. This master chief who did not like me. And I was going to get going home for retirement orders with this master chief. He was just very mean. He just didn't care about my injuries, didn't care that I had a TBI, didn't care that I had a bad shoulder, didn't care that I had an equilibrium imbalance. He didn't care about all that. So one of those type of people, you can hear me in the camera, the meat's cooking. Extremely power hungry. Said I was faking my injuries. And I overcame a lot. Just to finish my martial arts journey, those that follow my main channel, I overcame a lot. You know, and I had to deal with assholes like that Master Chief. You know. And then they get called back in the Navy and become a lieutenant, helping with the naval cadets, doing training lectures. I mean, that was an honor. What I did was a few butthole chiefs. See how this is cooking down? Getting translucent. And this is going to simmer for hours. This is going to simmer for hours. You want to get all this translucent first. You want to get the meat cooked. You want to get the vegetables cooked. You want to get it all nice and tender. And then you're going to put some water in it. Some base. Boy, actually this is pretty much the base. Alright. All I'm going to do with these potatoes is cut them in quarters. You'll see them in the bowl. One flew way over there. Let's see, some stories. I don't know what 2025 is going to bring with the oligarch and a dictator for president, one who wants to pretty much steal some of our allied countries, Greenland and Panama, wants to take over Canada. That ain't going to happen. One who wants to take away women's rights. I mean, no offense to the ones that voted for Trump. You guys are going to be in for a rude awakening. Rude awakening. So that's why we're going to start cutting down on things, because we're going to be prepared for the higher prices. You know, Trump's going to do the opposite of everything he promised. I mean, as far as the grocery prices, they're going to go way up. TVs are going to go up. Oh, now look at that! Look at that! Isn't that beautiful? Oh man, this is beautiful. It's cooking down. Woo! Now, I'm not gonna put the potatoes in it yet. Of course not. I'm just gonna cut the potatoes and put them into a bowl with some salt, water. If I had lemon, I'd put a squeeze of lemon in it too. Comment below. You know, I'm talking, you know, just babbling a little bit. Comment below. Those who can hear my voice. What your plans are for 2025? We really don't have no big plans this year. We did our big plans last year when we went to Europe. So I don't really have any plans this year. Probably going to be just staying around here in New Mexico, and I do want to find a way to get a bathtub, because I need to take my bath soaks, because you know my body is, and I want to find a way to get some other things done. We got to get a water heater and window. We're gonna put a picture window in this one area where all this dust comes in. You know, it's installed backwards, and man, it's just what a mess it is. Every time, and we've had a lot of wind lately. We had snow a few days ago. It lasted on for a couple of days. Yes, it does snow in New Mexico. Look at that, see? It's translucent, see? It's cooking down. I'm just going to leave it cooking. I'm cutting the potatoes. I just hope everybody's doing well. And hope everybody's finding a way to deal with all this hatred and division. Everybody finds a way to just be kind, you know, and call out things the way they are. Don't be afraid to stand up to a bully. Don't be afraid to stand up to a bully. You know. The gold potatoes are the best in this stew, in this hunter's stew. There we go, potatoes are done. One on the floor. It takes a while to cut all this stuff, guys. That's why I didn't film me cutting all that other stuff. See, here's the pan of potato. Here's the potatoes all diced up, see? Quartered. Now, just going to add the water here. And this water is going to be part of this stew anyway. Just like when I make my potato soup. Did I show a potato soup recipe? You know what I would like to do? I would like to show my version of German style potato soup. I think you guys would love that one. So you put it in that soda water. It'll sit. Alright. Well, that's all I can say for the moment, guys. I'll be back when this thing is, I'm going to add some water to this in a bit. See, I'm going to try to get the meat a little more tender. And then I'm going to add some water to it. You just want to keep stirring it and cooking it. So, I'll be back. Alright, I got the water in the stew. This is simmering. It's going to take a couple hours to simmer. I got to watch it. You got to really watch it because some of these things will dry out fast. Water boils out fast around here. Even if we fill it all the way up. So I watch it constantly. I'm going to stay in the kitchen and watch it. But every half hour, check it. And then in about 2 hours, and everything's really tender, then I'm going to add my potatoes. Let those cook for about a half hour in that. Well, I'm going to add this meat. I'm going to add this meat in about an hour. And then in 2 total hours, I'm going to add my potatoes. Talking here, and I can't even get the meat chopped. These Opus beef, these things are outstanding. I've used them in my German style potato soup too. I'm gonna make that for you guys one day. These I'm just gonna chop up like this. Why not? Nice big pieces to put in there. And this is going to be a heck of a good stew. I think my dad made a 4 hunter stew before. I think he put venison, beef, and lamb, plus sausages in his. I think he just put kielbasa in his. Wow. So, yeah, like I said, you can use anything to make a hunter stew. It's basically 2 different types of meat plus a sausage of some type. That's it. I'm going to put these in a bowl. I didn't get my bowl. Will it fit in this bowl? I think it will. Pray guys that my head gets better. You didn't want to see me the other day. Like yesterday, I was stumbling like crazy around this house because my head was so dizzy. Just pray for me. I don't know what's going on with me. You know, I was in an explosion in Iraq, so it's a pain in my ass. You know, to deal with this TBI and imbalance issues, and being knocked down that ladder and having my shoulder issues, my back issues. It's not easy. It's not easy, guys. But they are. I'll see you in an hour when I add the meat. Alright guys, got this. It's flowing water. You're kind of like making the gravy now. The natural sauce. This is going to thicken up as it cooks. I'm going to add my sausage to this. Yes, I put this in before the sausage. And then in the final step, when I add my potatoes, it's really going to be thick. Sausage that I cut up. I'll see you guys again in about another half hour. You see what it looks like then. Then I'll add the potatoes for the final step. And I'll have my hunter's stew. Very healthy dish. Alright, look at this nice thick gravy. Ooh. See, it's a gravy. Now this is going to get more thick now when I add the potatoes. Now I don't have my apron on now. It's been about 40 minutes. I'm going to drain some of this water. Put these potatoes in. And next I'll show you the finished product. Ooh. This is gonna be a stew. Now that's gonna get thickened up. I'll turn up the heat a little bit. I'll put the lid on. And I'll show you the finished product in about an hour. Alright, my friends. Look at this. There it is, the finished hunter stew. See, it looks like a gravy with lots of different meats, potatoes, vegetables. You can see everything at the bottom here, all the different meats. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It is time to eat, but this is the finished product. Alright, here's my bowl of hunter stew. I put some pepper in it. Thing is, I didn't have any Worcestershire that I usually use when I make a stew like this. So I did put a little extra seasoning. Needed to put a little extra salt. But it's healthy, and it's a lot of different meats and vegetables. Right, Joe? Oh, yes. We'll take a bite with some sausage meat, the regular meat, and potato. That will work if I get the sausage meat cut a little bit. Primo.